I had this coworker, well today, she was trying to drive and got her car stuck like a few blocks away in the snow, so she can't get home. But my
Oh no, did she manage to get it unstuck or no?
no, she was kind of crying. She walked back to the store, but my coworker that I carpool with on Tuesday and Wednesday offered her a ride home.
Well, why didn't anybody help her?
There's not that many people left in the store at that time.
Well, yeah, I mean, but why didn't you help her or something?
I was like far, like, couldn't really, we can't all leave.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, instead of just talking about it, I mean, you should have helped her, or asked somebody to help her, because, I mean, literally all it would take is just, like, a pot of hot water, and then she could get unstuck, or just a bunch of salt, and she'd be able to get unstuck. Kind of messed up, man.
It was a tiny car.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's even more messed up. It's a small car, and nobody could get a pot of hot water or a box of salt to help her move her car, or even just push it. Like, that's pretty messed up. I don't know. I think that's messed up. Because, I mean, even you could have helped her. Kind of fucked up, especially if that's, like, her only ride. And she was crying. That's pretty fucked up. I'd say that's pretty fucked up.
She got home without her car, though.
Yeah, but that's still fucked up. She shouldn't have had to do that. That's really fucked up.
Anyway, starting the game. Oh, it's... Actually not coworker, more like employee that works in the store.
That's still a coworker.
Vampires walk among us. They couldn't get anyone to voice over that the text at the intro of the game. It's just plain black text. I mean, white text and black background. Wow, the font is so small. The font for the gender is way bigger than the actual dialogue.
There should be a setting to fix that.
After the cutscene, I guess. I don't want to accidentally skip it by pausing or I remember playing one of these games. I got a platinum on one. Well, not this game specifically, but like I don't know what you call it. There's like stats. What are these stat games? Psychology. Can't use persuasion. Don't have enough points. Yeah. Oh, their hair just randomly moved. This girl looks like an entire birthmark. All of these characters look weird. We got one that's painted with gold. One that looks like half their body's a birthmark. Is some Billie Eilish looking person. No, it's because they have green hair. Yeah, not really.
I mean, those are all real that real people have. I've dyed my hair almost every color of the rainbow.
Oh.
I had blue hair, purple hair, pink hair, tie-dye-ish hair, brown hair, blonde hair, platinum hair, everything. I miss dyeing my hair.
How about frosted tips?
Probably. I know dyeing the ends of your hair was like a super big thing when I was in school.
Oh yeah, remember how I mentioned the guy that called out for the leak? He showed up to look at the schedule and to see if he got fired yet. I'm like, you're still on the schedule, so I'm assuming you're still on payroll or whatever. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go say I quit, because he was in between moving, like apparently like is moving from one city to another. And
well, yeah, it's just ridiculous that they took so long to even fire him. Like most jobs, like if you don't, like I said, if you don't show up for like a week, like he was probably just hoping that they would fire him, because if they were to fire him, then he could get benefits. But if you quit a job, then you don't get anything. That's probably what he was hoping, is he was hoping that they would just fire him, so that he can get benefits, you know, have at least some of his pay reimbursed, and then be able to... I don't
really think he's thinking that, because that's his first job, and it doesn't really seem that bright.
That too, but like, still. I mean, you never know who he's talking to. Like his mom or something else that could be like, yeah, it's better to get fired from a job than quit. Don't know. But I had a couple coworkers at my job that would just like not show up, or take like random days off, or would show up for like half the day and then leave early, or take like an hour plus long breaks, or I still have coworkers that do that. What's it called? What else? Oh, I heard about apartments that there was like a person, and I've heard that it's happened before, but there was like a person who like wanted to get fired so bad by just like not showing up, and they just wouldn't fire her. And she's like, why? Like, she didn't even show, like, I think one time, this is just from what I heard from others, that he didn't show up for like a month, and they still wouldn't fire her.
Oof.
He's like, maybe I'll just do so bad, have to fire me, and they just wouldn't. So I don't even know if she's still working there. I have no idea who that is. I've never met them. There's a lot of people that work at my job, probably like a few hundred people. I mean, it's nuts. Like, I can work at my job, and I can have coworkers that I've, like, never seen. Like, if they're in the other two buildings, because there's 3 buildings on campus, and if they work in the other 2 buildings, I've probably never seen them before. Like, I have coworkers that when I did, like, orientation and everything, I went to orientation with them, and I saw, like, I didn't even know if they were still working there, because I'd never saw them because we were in different buildings. And there was 2 people out of the orientation that I've seen out of, like, the, I don't know, 10 or 12 that were in my orientation class. Maybe more than that. And it's nuts, because one worked in the warehouse, like, right next to my building, that was, like, attached to my building as well. And only reason why I ever saw him, and I never said hi or anything, but we were cool, like, in orientation and stuff. He was pretty cool. But the only reason why I even saw him is because it was crazy, because the 2 people that I've seen, they were the only, I think there was, like, maybe one other person that was second shift, and everyone else was first. So, like, these 2 people, like, I only saw one of them, the one that worked in the warehouse, because we're both in second shift and whatever, and he smokes outside. Like, you have to smoke, I mean, obviously, you have to smoke outside, but they don't let you smoke, like, on campus, so everyone has to go, like, out by the street and smoke. So I was leaving, and then I saw him on his phone, and he was smoking. And like I said, I didn't say hi or anything, but I was like, wow. You know, like, I wasn't even sure if he was still working here, because I never saw him. And then I had another coworker where about a month or 2 ago, and we've been working there probably over 6 months at that point. I just barely saw him. He's on the same shift as me, and I just barely saw him the other day, or, 2 months ago. Which I think is crazy. Like, I didn't see him for 6 months, and then all of a sudden I'm just, like, leaving, and then he's getting in a car with some of our other coworkers. I don't know who they are because they work in a different building, but so I guess some of the other coworkers and stuff that he works with, and I was just like, whoa, didn't say hi, didn't do anything. I was just like, oh, that's so-and-so from my orientation class, cool. So that's, like, I think that's nuts, that you could, like, work with people, or have people work at the company on the same shift, on the same hours as you, and you never run into them. Like, I think that's crazy. Like, I could have, like, so many people that work on the same shift, same time frame, everything, going to work at the same time as me, and I will never see them. And then we can meet sometime down the line, and they can be like, oh yeah, we can find out that we worked at the same company, like, in a certain year, and we would have never known. Like, we could have literally been on the same, like, working the same time, in the same year, same day, same everything, and never known each other. I think that type of stuff is crazy. Because I'll hear people like that, like, I'll hear stories like that where, like, people will be like, oh yeah, I worked at, like, Target or whatever in this hometown, my hometown of blah blah blah. And then some people will be like, no way, I'm from the town of blah blah blah, and I also worked at the Target, like, around this time. And they're like, holy crap, where'd you work? And they're like, oh, warehouse. And they're like, yeah, I was on the sales floor. And I just think that's crazy. I don't know. I think that type of stuff is nuts, where you could, like, work, live, and everything in the same town as somebody else, but just never cross paths with them.
I sometimes see people I used to go to school with popping, like, in the store.
Who?
Just people I used to go to school with, like...
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's normal. But I had, like, a couple people from high school. I mean, that's kind of a similar thing I had with, like, high school. No, so... Sorry, my cat. When I was in high school, well, my first high school, I lived in the same town I went to school in, and it was, like, right down the street from my house. Well, down the street and around the corner, but, you know, pretty much down the street from my house. And, I never really hung out outside of high school with anybody that I went to high school with. I think there was maybe only, like, no, I hung out with a couple people, but I knew them before I went into high school. Well, 2 out of the 3 of them I hung out with, I knew them before I went to high school there. They were like my neighbors, or I knew them from middle school. One I knew from middle school, and anyways, long story short, after I left that high school, I was still living in that town, and I would hardly ever run into the people that I went to school with, which I think is nuts, because the town wasn't very big at all, and there was only maybe like 3 stores. Or no. 2 stores. Like normal stores. We had a Walmart and a Target. And that's it. Eventually we got like an Aldi's, and that's about it. I mean, we had a couple other different types of stores, but those were like our main stores. Like most people either shopped at Walmart or they shopped at Target. And I would go to the Target quite often, and the Walmart, but I would go to the Target quite often, and that was kind of like closer to the high school and closer to like the heart of town. The Walmart was all the way on the other fucking side, like you had to go on the freeway or take the long way. Like, it was on the other side of the lake. But anyways, because we had a lake, like, dividing the middle of the town. Which is weird. Lake towns are weird. But anyways, I went to school in, like, at that particular school, I was there from, like, 2014 to 2016-ish on and off, and maybe 17-ish on and off, and I didn't see anybody in person, or hardly anybody in person from that school, like, around town, except years and years later, after I had left the school, I was in GameStop, and I was getting Outer Worlds. I think I had it, I don't know if I had it pre-ordered or what. I don't know, something like that. I think I had it I don't know, I don't remember. Anyways, I was going the day it dropped, and one of the Call of Duties was also dropping on that same day in 2019. And I went in there, and it was only me and 2 other dudes. And I was like, okay, damn, this place is empty, because usually when they release a COD game, everyone's like lined up outside, and it's like midnight is when they do the drop release. But sometimes during some... Huh?
I did that once.
Yeah, I did too. I've done it a few times. I did it for Call of Duty Ghosts, and I did it for like a few other ones that I don't remember
I even have
the names of.
Collectible.
Huh?
I even got a hat pre-order collectible. Oh,
cool. Yeah, I kind of miss events like that where it's like everyone's kind of going to the same thing. They all have interest in the same thing. But anyways, yeah, I went with my friends to that. But anyways, I found out that they were going to be releasing both of them early, and I think it was like 8 p.m. that they were going to be releasing it instead of 12. So I was expecting like tons of people to get there, and I get there, it's fucking empty. And I'm like, oh my god, this is kind of scary. Like, is it really open? Like, is the store actually open? And I, like, went in, and like I said, there was just me and 2 other dudes, and we were just standing there all awkwardly, and I was like, I wonder what game they're gonna get. Anyways, long story short, I found out that one of the dudes that was there, because it was me, and there was, like, another dude that was around my age, and I didn't really look at them too much because, like, I was being a sweaty gamer kid. Or, I mean, I guess I was an adult at that point, but I was being like a sweaty gamer, and I was like, I kind of want to take a shower before I go, and then I decided not to. So my hair was like hella greasy, and I just shoved it in a beanie and put on a jacket, and I was like, good enough. I didn't smell bad, but my hair was just greasy, and I looked like shit because it was like, I mean, I guess I could say something at the middle of the night, but I was like, it's GameStop, I don't really need to look good. So I was like, fuck it. And I went, and then
I used to have greasy hair.
What'd you say?
I used to have greasy hair, and I'd kind of slick it back with water, like with my fingers. Sometimes my hair gets greasy after just a few days, though. Like, I don't wash my hair, like, every single day, because it already gets pretty dry. So it, like, fluctuates between dry and greasy. I know I gotta do something about that, but honestly, I'm fucking lazy. Huh? Buzz cut.
Oh, hell no. I used to do that when I was in, like, middle school, though. I'd get in high school. I've done it a few times, like, in both of those times. I would just get, well, mostly middle school, but I would get so tired of my hair that it'd get to a certain length. I'd go, okay, and then I go, bzz, it would just all be off.
2 of my coworkers got buzz cut their hair in a week. Same week.
Yeah. It's so easy to maintain, and your hair is so soft and healthy after you do it, and you have it for a while. It's great. But this is the longest I've had my hair since, like, I don't know, since I was, like, 12. And it feels great. I mean, it's great, and then it also kind of sucks. It's great because I'm glad I actually feel like good enough to have long hair, but it sucks because it's always in the fucking way. No matter what I do, and I'm too lazy to get a haircut. Well, I shouldn't say lazy, but
man bun.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do, is I pull my hair back and I just tie it up, and it's tied up all the time unless I'm home. I just don't put aside the time and the money to get a haircut regularly, so I'll get, like, a haircut I really like, and then I'll want to try some other place so they won't have, like, done it exactly the way that I want it, and then I'll I don't know, when I decide to get a haircut, I tend to research the hell out of wherever I'm going. And there was one place that did a haircut I really liked, but they just, it was ridiculous. I went there because I was researching, like, who does, like, fades really well, because I wanted to get a specific, like, long, with, like, a fade around the ears, and so I went to this barber shop, and then I had my appointment, and I went, and then the dude's like, so what do you want? And I told him, I called them on the phone to make sure they'd be able to do the haircut that I wanted, too. And they're like, yeah, of course. And so then I go in, and then the dude's like, so what do you want? And I, like, explained it to him, and I showed him pictures, and I, basically showed him the lengths and everything, and he had no idea how to do it. Because I essentially wanted, like, a mullet, not like 80s mullet or anything, or, like, yeehaw type mullet, like a redneck or anything, but it's like the styles that you see, I don't know, it's more stylish. And it's like a short, basically short on the top, longer in the back. Like, all I wanted was essentially, like, I don't know if you're familiar with, like, an undercut or, like, a taper or stuff like that, where, they got a decent amount of hair on the top, and it looks, basically I wanted it to look normal from the front and then just be long in the back. That's it. Like, I don't feel like that's anything too crazy. And the guy was like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with this. And so then he, like, got his other coworker that was, like, around my age, And he was like, that guy was like booked out, but he's like, you know what? I know, and I explained it to him, and I told him, and I showed him the pictures, and then he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I could do it. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about. And he tried to explain it to the other guy, and he didn't know, he still didn't understand. I don't know. He seemed, honestly. He's probably only done like 2 hairstyles in his life. And then the other guy ended up just taking over. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry for that. But since he was so booked, cut my hair like super fast. And I don't know. I feel like he could have done better if I would have just been booked with him in the first place. I don't know why they booked me with somebody who doesn't know how to do, like, longer hairstyles. It's like, then why was I put on his list? Like, might as well just schedule me on a different day with somebody that actually knows what they're doing. It's like going to, like, a salon or a barber shop, and you tell them that you want to get your hair dyed, and they're like, I have never seen hair dye ever in my life. And then you're like, so how are you going to dye my hair? And they're like, yeah, that's the thing. And then you get like somebody who just takes the hair dye out of the bottle and just pours it all over your head, and they go, yep, this is the color you want.
First, right?
What happened?
I think do you bleach the hair first, then do you dye it?
Well, yeah. Well, depending on the type of hair and like what type of hair color you're going for, like, oh my god, it's sort of complicated, but yet not really. Like color theory, like if someone has black hair and they're wanting to dye it like bright purple, they're gonna have to get it bleached. Like they need like a white canvas to start with or something lighter. But if you have somebody with like blonde hair and it's pretty light and they want like a dark purple, then yeah, no problem. Like you don't even really need to bleach it. It depends. It depends what kind of color you're going for and what kind of hair you got to start with. Sometimes I would bleach my hair and sometimes I wouldn't. I bleached the hell out of it though. I don't know how I still have hair on my head sometimes. Getting your hair dyed and wanting it a specific color and like being it like the maintenance with hair dye is insane. But if you don't want to do any maintenance, then like you're gonna have to put up with the root growth and everything. Because if you have your hair like orange and your natural hair is like black, then when that starts to grow in, it's gonna see like black right where it's, you know, growing in on your head. And once it gets to a certain length, then you'll have like orange, like your whole head is orange, and then with like 2 inches of black. I don't know. Depending on the person, they might like it, but I don't know. For me, for certain shades, I actually kind of like the way it looks, but other people, if they even have a tiny bit of their natural hair showing, they have to get it rebleached and dyed. That's personal preference. I don't know. I could talk so much about all this stuff. I don't remember what I got for this character last time. I'll choose that one. I was talking the whole time, I just staring at the character on my screen instead of leveling them up, so now I'm finally leveling them up.
What I find weird, the prince in this game is a woman.
What happened?
The prince in this game is a woman. I haven't been reading or paying attention to any of the dialogue. It's just whatever. I'm kind of bored. It's just talking with dialogue options, so...
are you gonna play a game that's like a story game and not pay attention to the story? What's the point in playing it then?
Your story was more interesting.
I guess. I think I'd really enjoy that game because I love those types of games.
I've played one, and it's called the...
I think you told me.
The Council. That one I found enjoyable. It had supernatural elements.
Okay, what's this one? This is Lightning Bolt. Yep, choosing that one. I've already decided. Don't even need to look at the other ones.
For the first most common trophy, it has a low percentage of it being earned.
Oh. Why is the character half naked? I don't think so. No, no more. Lay down. I'm gonna turn up the heat on this. My back is like so stiff. Not fun. Grab this other blanket. He's probably like purring right next to the mic. He's sitting on my lap. Okay. I've done nothing since I logged on an hour ago. Was it an hour ago? Oh god, almost 2 hours ago. I've done nothing.
Choose your prey. Oh.
I came home, took my dog out, made food. I turned on my PlayStation while I was making food. That's why I answered so late. And then ate some of my food, fed the animals, and I logged on my game, and I've done nothing. Which is kind of funny. I think it's a little funny.
Oh, there's like the biting cute thing. Feeding, there's like a feeding action-y thing. Or you could accidentally kill the prey you feed on.
Oh, that's it. Okay. That's too hot now. Ouch. think I'm gonna grab a little bit more of the food that I made, and I might go to bed soon. I don't even remember what I was doing.
Yeah. Bored of this.